Hi, fans of Fairy, aka Fairy here, and today we'll be doing the ranking of every single course in this game, Mario Kart World. Now, how I did it is I took some notes on a notepad, and I have basically the list of how I would rank them, and I'll be basically talking about what I like and what I don't like in the beginning, and just let you watch the entire race. So just so you know, anytime I stop talking and you don't want to continue watching the races, go to the next chapter, which I'll be doing whenever this video comes out. And by whenever this video comes out, I mean next video. I also have a poll up at the moment, which basically asking if you want me to play Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic for the channel. So without further ado, let's kind of get going into the video. Okay, so this is how this is gonna work. So I'm going to, at the beginning, point out what I like and what I don't like right off the bat. So that way we get all the critiques down. So this way I'm not constantly having to be like jumping in midway through the race just to point out something. So for Koopa Beach, I honestly, just so you know, I also gave these like rankings to kind of like feel how I feel about it. Like in the notepad, but that does not necessarily mean it got, that does not necessarily mean just because it got a high ranking, like while I was taking notes, does not mean it's gonna be like higher up the list. There are times where some are actually have high scores but are deemed lower in the rankings. But very first off, I did Troopa Beach at 1 out of 10 for a ranking. I did these out of 10. So I personally said that it was like way too short and boring because it's just a big circle. That's basically what this is. But honestly, the laps here are 5 laps, but it should have stayed 3, just because it's the extra 2 laps just make it even more boring and dull. But I did say that I did actually like the shallow water. I don't know why I pointed that out. Just the shallow water, just really cool. But there's also, I did like the islands around it and just the, like, aesthetic of being on an island. I just feel like they should have, like, I feel like Nintendo should have done it where it was not this. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with this. I honestly do not like desert levels, and this kind of translates into this. So this is why this is like so low. The only reason Koopa Beach is lower is because there's nothing to it. But at least this has something. So there's going to be points where you're going to see like up ahead there's like flying totem heads. And like come the next lap and the final lap, we're gonna be seeing like some of those totem heads charging towards us. And I did say I did like that, but because it's a desert level, I'm not a big fan of it. I gave this one a 4 out of 10, and I did point out that I did like the music. But I did also add that it's still a desert level. Personally, I'm not a big fan of desert levels. I prefer icy levels over desert levels. And even then, I'm not a big fan of ice-themed levels to begin with. Okay, so Guy Bazaar is next. Now, I'm gonna point out, I like the fact that there's like elephants, like helping with the banner with the starting line or the finish line, depending how you see it. I did say that I honestly liked it, but if depending how you feel about animals being used this way might be a negative for you. Personally, I find it a cute little detail, but do remember this is a video game. These are fictional elephants. But I did also say that it is a desert level, so I'm not really a big fan of desert levels again. And I did give this one a 3.5 out of 10, and I will have to say, outside of my notes, I really like the aesthetic of it being like a big shopping center area. And I do like that. I just wish we had been able to go like inside the palace that's in the background there. I just wanted to point that out, but either way, this is a pretty good level, probably one of my favorite desert levels, and even then, like I said before, I'm not a fan of desert levels. I'm not even a fan of ice levels, but like I said before, I prefer ice levels over desert levels to begin with. Okay, so next is Starview Park. Sorry, Starview Peak. I meant Starview Peak. I read it as Park on my notes. I don't know why. But I did say that I like the northern lights in the background, which are very pretty. I do like the blue water, which will be seeing fairly soon. And it's also good to go through like the laboratory, the observatory, whatever it is. Towards the end, that's pretty good. But this has a big issue of being pretty, but plain. There's like no obstacles, virtually none that I can see. And I did say that though pretty, it is basically just that. It's just pretty. But that does not deter it from being a pretty good track if you hate obstacles. I personally like obstacles in the way, so that way the tracks feel more interesting. But I did give this a 6.5 out of 10 in the ranking when I went to take the notes. I'm just saying that this is a pretty track, but it's just plain. There's like nothing there but it being pretty. And I will give it that. It is a very beautiful track. Okay, this one actually outshines Starview Peak only for one reason: is there obstacles in the way, which besides this being pretty, it does have the obstacles which outshines it a bit, but still, it's still just a pretty track. They're though pretty. I did wish we could go into like the castle, because you can see the castle in the background. So there's that. Also, I'm sorry for how badly I was driving in this course. I don't know why I was. I had literally just basically finished the notes on everything and organizing how I would rank this, and I did it the same day with getting like all the tracks recorded for this video. And it's the next day. It is literally the 20th of June when I'm recording this part, but I did say that it is a very pretty track, and it does have obstacles, which I do like, but besides that, just meh. I just wish we could go through the castle. I wish we could. I think that's pretty much it. I gave it a 6.5 when I went to rank it, to like, and the reason why I did rankings is to like kind of like get my thoughts across on like a ranking. So it kind of could be guided to see what I like and what I don't like. So these rankings aren't concrete. They're just a way for me to like visually get an understanding of, did I like it, did I not. But I'm just saying I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. And I did really like it at night, especially when you're seeing right here. Like if it's at night, 100% it is a beautiful track. But that's personally just my opinion. I prefer this track at night just because how pretty it is. But either way, it's just Starview Peak with obstacles, basically, in my opinion. Okay, so for this one, Peach Beach, I honestly did say that I liked how you could choose whether it be in the water or on the shore when you're at the beach for the first lap. I also did add that I did really like the second lap with being able to go through the town, which I find really cool. I do have to say, I kind of wish Peach Beach had a bit more beach, because the last lap is basically just water. That's literally it. No obstacles, no nothing, just you're driving on water. And that's really where this track really hits for me. The first and second lap are fine. I feel like the second lap should incorporate the beach a bit more, in some way, but that's just my opinion. But I gave it a 2 out of 10 with ranking it. Honestly, I gave this one a 4.5 out of 10 when I was ranking it to kind of get a feel for how I felt for it. I do think this is a very good starter track. It is a very good starter track. But I did see that Mario Circuit kind of does it slightly better, but only because there's more obstacles in the way, and I'm someone that likes obstacles in the way, so that kind of hit this one a bit different. But I did really like how it kind of taught the player how to rail ride on the rails. That's a nice little thing. I also did add that I did like the little ad for Luigi tires and the cool neon pipe sign on the side near the finish line that you're probably seeing around now. There's also, I personally did enjoy just how fun this one is, but I'm more someone that likes obstacles in a way, and this was a bit too open for me. I feel like they could have done something add pipes in the way, because this one screams like it'd be a very good place to put some pipes in the way with all the green pipes and in the background, that kind of thing. But I do also have to admit, I absolutely like how it's like a canyon you're driving through. Again, it's not that different from a desert, but I still really like this one. But I still feel like the Mario Circuit did it better. But Mario Bros. Circuit is still a really good track. Okay, so moving on from Mario Bros. Circuit, we're moving on to Mario Circuit. I did say this is simple but fun. I did also say that it is a really fun track, but it is a bit forgettable. I will have to admit, it is a bit on the forgettable side. And I do like that we can see the Mario and the standard car on the building. I feel like we should have I don't know, did something go through that building or something like that. Or rail ride the rails if there was that choice, but I don't think you can. Outside of the free roam mode. But I did mention that this is still a really good, fun, simple track. Okay, Faraway Oasis. I honestly really like this track. I really do. I did, towards the end, there's going to be a part where you're fighting against a waterfall, trying not to fall off the waterfall, which I find a really cool detail. I also did say that I love the choice in driving on the wooden platform or the water. When you get to a certain point, which is about right now. I did say that I did wish the track could have us avoiding zebras, with the track merging section. if you do a track merge with this. That personally is something I wished. I wish they added, like, I don't know, like animals to it to like fight against. I don't know, do something like crocodiles or alligators in the water. Do something like zebras running like on the field at certain points. Do something like stampeding elephants going across the road, essentially. Something like that to make it feel a bit more chaotic and a bit more lived in. But I did say I did give it a 6 out of 10 for the ranking, in case you guys were interested about that. Okay, I gave this one a 5.5 out of 10, like, when I ranked it. I honestly cannot remember if I'm, like, misremembering, but I personally, do kind of remember this track having, like, cars, like, driving down the road while you were dodging it in the original DS version. I did say that, but I also did say that I wish there were more skiing Shy Guys. That kind of got in the way, like in the like snowy, like wooded slope area. I wish there was that. But I did say that this is definitely one of my like favorite like ice chili track levels. Just because it's just nostalgia for me. On top of like it's just a really good track. Okay, great question mark block ruins. This one, I did say I really like the gleaming gold road because at a certain point it's going to turn to a gleaming gold road and I like that. I also did say that I like the cheering piantas and toads toward the end because there's going to be some towards the end just cheering us. And weirdly enough, I said the clouds sort of ruin the course. Would be better without them, but leave them for the crowd. Which I do agree with. I wish there was a bit more glider sections, like leave the clouds out and just leave it like a glider section. I also did say that I wish there were more chains to like rail ride on. And I also said, almost thought I fell into the death void, but riding a chain saved me. The chain is a bit too hidden for my liking. And that's near that like glider section towards the middle of the course. With the clouds, I think you saw it like a moment ago. Okay, Dandelion Depths. I did say that I really like the underground river part of it, but I did say that I felt like it should have been a bit more there, a bit more noticeable. And by noticeable, I mean a bit longer or make the outside part a bit shorter. Not by much though, just my opinion. I feel like the outside part could be a teeny bit shorter and make the underground part a teeny bit longer. I gave this a 4.5 out of 10 for the ranking. I did say that besides the cavern part is a dull track, and I still stand by that. It's kind of forgettable if this not underwater section, the underground river section wasn't there. Okay, Wario Stadium. I did say that I wish you could veer off into sections, as there's a part that branches out near the start, but blocked off, and you can pretty much see it like right there. You can't. I did say that I did enjoy the part with the spark and fire shooting out before you go airborne in the air, which is pretty cool. Besides that, I personally kind of forgot about this track, honestly. And I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is a good ranking in my opinion. Again, I do this ranking to kind of get a sense of where I would place these when I was like trying to figure out what to do. Because I found it like actually pretty hard to like rank them when I got to the better tracks. The really bad, terrible tracks were easy to like place. Because I knew what I didn't like and stuck by it. But when it came to the ones where I literally where it was like really good, I literally could not decide which ones I preferred because they're really good. And I didn't want to feel like I was putting someone down if they really liked a particular track and my ranking didn't really match up. Actually, that's the thing about this I found really difficult, like feeling like, oh, what happens if someone disagrees with me? Not as a I'm right, more as a I don't want to hurt someone's feelings if their favorite track is lower on my list, or like my ranking, or someone being like, oh, I really don't agree with you with this, and feeling like, oh, I really should have seen it from that point of view. But then again, rankings are subjective. This is all my opinion. You might have your different opinion, so put in the comments below what's your favorite track in this game and what's your least favorite track. Okay, Dino Jungle. I honestly did say that I really like the dinos. I say it's cool dinos right off the bat. I did wish we go to the lab a bit more, personally. But I did say that I really liked the dino as a ramp, which we'll be seeing fairly soon. Not that one. It's the one right over there. I did say that I wish there were a bit more rampaging T-Rexes, which I still stand by. I gave this a 4 out of 10 when I ranked it. So, yeah. I still really like this. There are definitely better tracks, so this is still a really good track. Okay, Acorn Heights. I gave this a 7 out of 10 right off the bat. I did say that I like the stems acting as rails, which you'll be soon seeing. And I did like this one part where you basically rail ride before the glider section, and it's coming right now. I'm honestly surprised that save actually accepted, because sometimes I might come in on it a bit wonky and it would just do its own thing essentially. I did say that I can't tell if we're normal size with large plant life or if we're super small in a normal size world. I can't really tell. I don't really know. That's the thing that's kind of confusing me, because part of me is like, oh, we're super small, but maybe it's like, oh no, we're normal size and it's just like super big plant life. I'm on the side of we're probably like super small, but either way, this is still a really, really good track. Okay, Moo Moo Meadows. It's so fun and memorable to this day. I do really like dodging the cows. Like, that's still a really fun thing for me to do. And that still, like, makes this a really good track in my opinion with dodging the cows. I feel like there should have been a slightly bit more cows in my opinion. But I did wish we'd go through the barn, like with some of the merging tracks. Because sometimes when you merge with another track, you'll go through the barn to reach the road on the other side, and I wish you could do that here. Like, even if it's not too, like, even if it's a simple, like, go through the barn and you go basically a large loop back onto Moo Moo Meadows, that would have been pretty cool. But I still did say this is still a really good track. It's still really good. And I gave this a 5.5 out of 10 when I ranked it. Okay, Dry Bones Burnout. I did say that I really like the design of the track, and I really do like it. There's a certain part where you can be driving through the head of a dry bones, and I really like that. But I did say that I wish the music was either more like Coco from, that Disney movie Coco that came out like years ago, or it popped out more. I personally feel like it should have popped out more. But I still really like this track. It's 6 out of 10 when I ranked it. But it's still a really good, like, lava-based course. I'm honestly surprised that Crown City is this high up. More because 8 Deluxe absolutely killed me with too many city tracks. And I thought it'd be basically trauma over those city tracks because I'm not a big fan of city tracks, and it's just surprising that this just kind of like snuck up on the way that it did. But I really did like it. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10 when I ranked it. I did say that I really like how you're able to drive in the solar panels towards a certain point. It's a pretty good city layout. I actually said it's pretty perfect. And nothing feels overshadowed, or I should clarify that, as nothing feels like it stayed too long. You got a good glimpse of the city without feeling like you were missing something, or it was a bit too long. It's basically the perfect length. Okay, Salty Speedway. So first of all, I'm enjoying a nice little smoothie made out of banana, peanut butter, and chocolate. My friend and I went to get her another betta fish because her last one died after 3 days in her care. There's she got the smoothie at this like smoothie place near our Petco. But either way, Salty Speedway. I did say that I liked it already better than Peach Beach. I did really like the Venice, however you say that, city in Italy, the one with all the canals, that one. However you pronounce that word, I really like the vibe of it. It's really cool. But I did say I wish Nintendo had used this. I use this theme for Delfino Square. I mean, think about the track being basically submerged in water, and I really do feel like that. It would have been really cool to have been like Delfino Square, but like somewhat submerged in water. But I really like the vibe here. I also give it a 6 out of 10 rating, and also I said this in the notes. I don't know why it's called Salty Speedway. There's nothing salty about the tracks except the implied fast food places, and lack it too. Saving me after slightly veering outside the buoys marking the track. Okay, Sky High Sundae. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. And I said that I love how fast-paced this track is. I love all the rails, which I really do. Wish there were branching paths to the sides of the tracks because you can see like little buildings, especially near the beginning of the course. And I said literally this: I'm a sucker, LOL, for food-themed tracks, which I seriously am. Give me a food-themed track, and I'm gonna be pretty amazed with it. Granted, when I recorded this part of the video, I realized how hungry I was, because this was just before dinner, and I was like starving while recording this video at this point, because it's like all this food, I'm hungry and I want food. So yeah, I just wanted to say that when I was recording this part of the video, I was like super hungry, and I ended up taking a small break to like eat some food. Okay, I gave this a 7 out of 10, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, I kind of missed the Bowser's Castle from Wii and 8 and 8 Deluxe because those were better in my opinion. I did also add that I can't seem to get the wall climb down and still struggle with rail riding slash wall climbing when turning, so it's more of a skill issue with me with that part. I did say that I really liked the Bowser statue part with going through the gaping jaws, which you're about to see fairly soon. I did really like, I really like the aesthetic of the entire thing, honestly. This is the part I was talking about. I really like this, like, gaping jaw Bowser kind of part. It's really cool. But I also did add, it's, like, really fun. Honestly, I still wish we kind of got the Bowser's Castle from Wii again, because I really like that one. Like, that was the first Bowser's Castle that really impressed me, especially as a kid. But then again, like, Mario Kart Wii was like the first ever Mario Kart, actually the first ever video game I ever played, so that game has like a special place in my heart as being the first video game I ever played. And speaking about video games you ever played, what's the very first video game you ever played? Okay, Airship Fortress is next. This is the first one that is no longer double digits, so yay. I also gave it a 9.5. 0.5 for nostalgia. I sort of wish there was 5 laps instead of 3. Personally, still feel that way. It's still really fun and chaotic, like as you can see. I also added this. Another one that hasn't been seen in years. This track came from Mario Kart DS 20 years ago. Nintendo, stop making me realize how old I am. Okay, Choco Mountain. The right away I said best version of Choco Mountain. And I stand by that. As of right now, as of 2025, can anyone say they found a better version of Choco Mountain than this? I also gave it a 9 out of 10. And I said, love the construction part and the charging chucks charging at the racers. There's a part to, there's an optional part to ride the wall, but I find it too hard to do, which again, it's more of a skill issue for me than anything else. Okay, Toast Factory is next. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and the 0.5 for pure nostalgia. I did say that it is still one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart Wii. Glad it's finally returned, 17 years later. Wow, I'm old. I also like to add that in Mario Kart Wii, this is my second favorite track. First favorite track is Mushroom Gorge. But also, I did say that I can't figure out how to get to the upper level of the factory. I'm still not sure how you do that, so there's that. I just wanted you to know that. I also did say about this part, I wish that the lights would switch immediately instead of just take a second. And speaking about lights, the blaring red lights, I really do wish that the blaring sirens would sound, because it didn't sound at all. I feel like they could have added a slight siren blaring noise that's not too harsh or deafens the music, because Mario Kart Wii had it where the blaring sirens did kind of deafen the music a bit. I feel like they could have added the sirens to that part, just made it less harsh. Okay, right away was Whistlestop Summit. I at first miswrote it as Whistletop Summit, so just want you to know that. I did say that I love the trains riding the track, and speaking of the tracks, this is my favorite track to rail ride on, personally. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and that 0.5 is because of this. I took a note of this. When taking notes, I somehow railroad into a wall climbed until I reached the track again, but in the opposite direction. One player bumped into me, causing me to get their shroom, or a speed boost. I don't know how. I managed to get like a small speed boost that went forward. Went from second to third place into 23rd place as a result. It was so funny, I couldn't stop laughing. I seriously could not stop laughing. It's so hilarious. I don't know how I managed it, but I did. But yeah, that's the reason why that 0.5 is there, just because of that. Okay, Cheap Falls it is. Very interestingly, this is the first one I ever gave a 10 out of 10 score on. So I said, first track where the music really pops out, and it really does. Love the autumn Japan look throughout the track, which I do. Love the fast-flowing river, which should be coming soon. And I love the Cheeps hopping out of the water. I also added this, 10 out of 10. Wish I could do it with a 20 out of 10. It's that good. I kind of like embellished it a bit more when taking notes because it was the first 10 out of 10 I did, but still a really good track. Really love it, really love the vibe, really love the music, really love the track. It's just basically perfect, but there are other tracks that kind of outdo it in terms of like design or gimmick that really do better than this, but this is still a really good track in my opinion. Okay, this might be a hot take, but I feel like DK Spaceport lands solidly at number 4 for me. Originally, I was thinking of making it number 3, the top 3, but I'm like, nah, there's one other track that, in my opinion, beats it ever so slightly. But even then, I love the robot gorilla throwing barrels. I love it. It's also a good place to like wall climb and rail ride for both fun and practice. It's a really fun track. I love how it kind of commemorates, in a sense, the very first Mario Donkey Kong arcade game, the one with like Jumpman saving Pauline, that kind of thing. But this is still a really fun track. I feel this is the first track that really is a hot take because it's number 4. But even then, being in the top 5 is like really good. I just wanted you to know it is not the top 3. I feel like it's a hot take because it's not in the top 3, but it is in the top 5. So from here on out, here's the top 3 I have, and the third place is going to Wario Shipyard. I love the shipyard look, the spooky like shipyard look. I do really like that. There's a ramp slightly towards the end of the track. Love the ramp to get slightly ahead just before the finish line. I said everything is just perfect, not too much land, water, etc. I do wish that part of the track was near the nearby shipyard, seen from the free roam mode. But I still give this track a 10 out of 10. I personally really prefer this one over DK Spaceport, ever so slightly. It ever so slightly outbeat DK Spaceport because I really like the old shipyard vibe over the spaceport vibe that DK Spaceport was going for. And at number 2, we have Boo Cinema. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I said I really like the spooky cinema, which I really do. And I love that we go through a screen and ride on the film, which I really, really, really love. That's actually the main reason I rank it so highly, is because of this particular section right here. It's just really fun, and also it being like a really cool spooky vibe as well. I'm kind of a sucker for like spooky-ish kind of tracks. If they're done well, they're done well. I really like this track. I was actually struggling where to put the top 3. And I was debating putting this on number 1, but I'm like, there's another track that outbeats it by a good margin. Okay, I don't care how cliche this might be, but number 1 is Rainbow Road, and this is the Rainbow Road that I absolutely love. I gave it a 10 out of 10, and as of right now, as of June 20th, 2025, as of this being the newest Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World being the newest entry into the Mario Kart series, this is my absolute favorite Rainbow Road. I really, really like it. It's even better than Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road, which I will argue is my second favorite as of right now. It only has 4 laps total, but everything honestly feels like it's not too long. It feels like the perfect length. It's not too short, not too long. I also say that the track's map looks long, but weirdly the perfect length. I cannot explain it. It is the perfect length, even though that freaking map over there looks scary. I also said that I love how the crystalline road shifts in color, which it does. You can really see it when in the starting point. Okay, I did say that the water part is cool and pretty, with sparkling deep blue water and beautiful plant life, and it really is. And after the water portion, I love the train in the background. Okay, I also said that I love the rainbow. I love driving on the satellite with the rainbow swans. I personally feel like the swans should have been not vibrating, that's the wrong word. Making the rainbow part kind of like bounce up and down in waves. I also said that as of right now, this track is the only one to end with a guaranteed lighter part. As of right now, I'm not 100% sure on that, but if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below if there's another Mario Kart track that ends in a guaranteed glider section. without any road to go on towards the end of the track. Okay, so with that, that is the end of my list of every single track in Mario Kart World. I'll be seeing you next video, and I also have a poll asking if you want me to play Five Nights at Freddy's, The Secret of the Mimic, I'm Phantom Ferret, aka Ferrets,